Greetings and welcome to Chaotic Beagle Entertainment. Thank you all for joining me today. I want to welcome all you lovely gamer hounds for joining me on this deck tech for a Magic the Gathering commander deck that I've been wanting to kind of show off. And this is not a top-end full optimized deck, but it's very fun. I put it together some time ago, and I usually pull it in and out of rotation, just depending on how games are going and different things. But this one is going to be on... let me get you a little bit closer there. There we go. Anje, Falkenrath. And what she is, 1 black red, haste, 1/3, and you can tap, discard a card, draw a card. Whenever you discard a card, if it had madness, untap her. So that way you can kind of machine gun her into getting some nice little discard abilities off, being able to cast cards for their madness, which is usually cheaper than their normal cost. Just things of that manner. So it's a very fun, very interesting deck. I was going to show it off to you all, see what you guys thought, and just kind of, if anybody's thinking of building it, this is kind of where I'm at with it. So let's get to it. So that's the commander there. All right, so for this commander, we have 10 regular basic mountains. Pretty simple, easy there. We have 11 swamps. Oh, wait, actually, there we go. 11 mountains, 10 swamps. I kind of wrong. I had one mixed in, but yes. All right, there we go. So there is that. Then we have... 13 non-basic type lands. So we'll go through these real quick. We have Terramorphic Expanse, Gyre Reach Sanitarium, Rakdos Carnarium, Evolving Wilds, classic, Peat Bog, Ash Barrens, Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Polluted Mire, Akum Refuge, Rakdos Guildgate, Cinder Barrens, and Bloodfell Caves. Now again, I've got a lot of tap lands. There's probably better ones that you can probably grab out there that would be a little bit better to pick up, but that's pretty much where I've got this one at. Again, this isn't like top-end optimized. I did a little bit of a budget build with this one. So next we have 4 artifacts. So we have Traveler's Amulet, Wanderer's Twig, Renegade Map, and Bag of Holding. So just some cheap stuff, a little bit of ramp and land search there because, we don't have the best colors for getting that ramp out there. So, yeah. Next, we've got 6 enchantments. All right, we got Senseless Rage, Stensia Masquerade, Faith of the Devoted, Animate Dead, and Dance of the Dead, along with Curse of Fool's Wisdom. So, a lot of these... there's a couple of combos that use the Animate Dead and Dance of the Dead in this deck. So I will point those out when I come to them, but these are going to be some really, really good cards when you're doing your discard with Anje to get some nice little combos off. So, all right. Next, we have a whole bunch of Sorceries. Let me see, where are we at? 16 Sorceries, which is a lot, but if you can pop some of these off, they are more than worth it. All right, so we have Empty the Catacombs. Return all creatures from his or her graveyard to his hand, which that's a nice, as you're popping off Anje, and you can return a bunch of the creatures in this deck that have your madness on them, you can machine gun so hard. It's quite nice. Destroy all creatures you don't control and all planeswalkers you don't control in Garruk's Wake from under the floorboards. It's a good one with its madness, but if you can actually pop off the ability, very nice. Very, very nice. Avacyn's Judgment. Alms of the Vein. Target opponent loses 3, you gain 3. Madness. Malevolent Whispers. Psychotic Episode. Distemper of Blood. Murderous Compulsion. Biting Rain. Call to the Netherworld. And that's a nice one because, you know, Madness 0. Return target black creature from graveyard to hand. Very nice. Forever Young. Ickerslick. Alchemist's Greeting. Gisa's Biting. And Restless Dreams. So another card, this is a nice one too, because you can take, if you've got a solid handful of cards that don't have madness, and let's say you machine gunned a bunch of them out, well, you can drop this, dump from your hand, and then return, you know, some creature cards from your graveyard back to your hand, and then machine gun them some more. So there's all the sorceries. Alright, next we have Instants. Let's see, Alright, we got 12 instants here. Alright, so Mausoleum Secrets. Search your library for a black card, convert a mana cost less than or equal to the number of creature cards in your graveyard, which can be pretty nice. There's some nice creatures in here, and some nice rapid-fire combos you can get. Shadow of the Grave. Again, more hand refill. Footbottom Feast. Fiery Temper. Psychotic Haze. Violent Eruption. Dark Withering. And then here is some of the boosts to help you out. Cabal Ritual. I believe right behind it I also have Dark Ritual. So, I mean, if you get a turn 1, you can pop this and then this. And then, you know, knock off something pretty decent. That one's nice. If you can hit the threshold to get the 5, that's a nice big hit for some of the hefty creatures that are in this deck. But those are nice ways just to kind of get off the ground. Grave Purge. Songs of the Damned. And Bone Harvester. Or Bone Harvest. Sorry, not Harvester. Put a number of target creature cards from graveyard on top of your library. Draw a card at the beginning of the next turn's upkeep. So that's a nice one too. Again, it's a lot of, not really grave recursion, but grave reclaiming. And with Anje, since you get to basically discard a card and then draw a card, you can machine gun through that for a lot of different effects. Next, we're going to go through the creatures. And there's a couple of them that I will stop off on. And like I said, I will kind of denote them as some of the really tasty ones to pull out and pull off some nice combos and different things with. So, but all right. So first off, we got Garna the Blood Flame, 3/3 human warrior for 3 black red. Some of the cards in here are a little bit pricey on mana cost, but the effects that they get when you can, get them out and just pop off with some of the combos is pretty nice. Return to your hand all creature cards in your graveyard that were put there from anywhere this turn. Other creatures have haste, which is really, really nice being able to pop off some of that. If you machine gun out, there's quite a few in here that have madness. And with that madness, you're able to do the discard, do the draw, and then be able to, get some nice creatures out there. Nightshade Assassin. Blood Mad Vampire. And some of the creatures in here, I will say, are not the best creatures, but they have madness. Not a whole lot of cards have madness, but there's enough of them out there that you can kind of pick and choose what you want. There are some in here that are just here for the madness sake, so just kind of keep that in mind as well. Merchant of the Veil. Big Game Hunter, which that's a nice one. I've used that one quite a few times, and that one has helped out. When he enters the battlefield, destroy target creature with power 4 or greater can't be regenerated. That's a nice one. Being able to put him out for 1 black on his madness, yeah. Reckless Worm is a scary one. 4/4 Trampler for 3, yeah. That's a tasty boy. Gorgon Recluse, again another nice one. Good madness cost on that. Twins of the Fowler Estate, which is just a 3/5 for madness. 3/3 for madness. Weirded Vampire. Insatiable Gorgers. Incorrigible Youths. Brain Gorgers. Grave Scrambler. Muckdrub. I always like saying that one. Muckdrub. Doomed Necromancer. Alright, Bone Miser. This one right here is a really, really good one. The Bone Miser is really good. If you are discarding the cards, then you get to create a 2/2 black zombie every time. So when you pop off Anjanath, I'm over here. I've got Monster Hunter Rise and World on my brain too. But Anje, Falkenrath, when you pop her off, you're discarding a card. So for every card that you're discarding, you get a zombie. And with the instants and some of the sorceries that let you return a bunch of cards either back to your hand, or you get to put them on the top of your library, then you, again, can machine gun through them and just drop out a ton of zombies. And then, mob somebody with those later on, or, sacrifice them, or whatever, whatever else you got. So you got some attackers and blockers. Luckily, they're nice, just regular black 2/2 zombies. Yeah. But let's see. Whenever you discard a creature, whenever you discard a land, though, you can get 2 black mana, which usually don't do that one. I usually try to do either the discard for the zombies, or whenever you discard a non-creature card, you draw a card, which kind of doubles up with Anje's ability. So it's very nice that way. Archfiend of Spite. This one's a bad little boy here. 6/6 flyer for 7, but it has a madness of 5, 3 black, instead of 5 black. Source an opponent controls deals damage to him. That source's controller loses that much life unless they sacrifice that many permanents. So, yes, very nice. Very, very good one to put out. Archfiend of Ifnir. And then this is a good way to wipe somebody else's board as well. If you're machine gunning out, some madness cards, It's a flying 5/4 for 3 black black, but whenever you cycle or discard another card, put a negative on each creature your opponents control. That's a one-sided board wipe. That's basically, you have nothing, I got a whole bunch of zombies now, and off to the zombie races we go. So that's a real nice finisher move right there. 5 black black for Overseer of the Damned. 5/5 flying. When it enters the battlefield, you may destroy target creature. Whenever a non-token creature an opponent controls dies, get more zombies. More zombies. Glinthorn Buccaneer. This one is nice again. He kind of doubles up with Anje as well. 2/4 for 1 red. Whenever you discard a card, he deals 1 damage to each opponent. So if you're just machine gunning through your cards, and then you refill your hand, you put them back on your library, machine gunning through them with the ones that have madness, then yeah, it can get to be real nasty real quick. Stormkirk Occultist. So that's a nice one, not too shabby. Asylum Visitor. Voldaren Pariah. Not a bad one. Comes in handy. Anje's Ravager. Alright, Bloodhall Priest. This is another one that kind of comes in handy. Enters the battlefield or attacks. If you have no cards in hand, it deals 2 damage to any target. Nice little poke here and there. So these last couple here are some of the big ones. This one, kind of like the Glinthorn. His power and toughness are equal to the number of cards in your hand, but whenever you draw a card, each opponent loses 1 life. So as you're machine gunning through with Anje's ability and all the Madness boys, then you are able to basically just shoot down your opponents. I've been able to get it off a couple of times, but usually he gets, kind of targeted. But if they allow him to stay out there and you're able to just quick react and start popping off a lot of stuff, then that's a game ender right there. That one and Glinthorn, if you've got them out and you're just firing away at discarding cards and drawing cards and madness is just flying everywhere, then boom, there it goes. So that's one of my game enders for this deck. And another one is World Gorger Dragon. So this is a nice one. So what it is, if you have your enchantment, Dance of the Dead, or Raise Dead. So here, let me grab those real quick, and I'll kind of give you guys a quick breakdown. There we go. Animate Dead, Dance of the Dead. They both do about the same thing. So what you do is you put World Gorger in your graveyard, and then you cast one of these 2 cards and target him. So what happens is when he comes to the battlefield, attached to one of these, you have to exile all your other stuff. Well, when this gets exiled with all your lands and everything else, he also goes back to your graveyard because he is no longer attached. When he's no longer attached to these enchantments, then he has to return to the graveyard. He returns to the graveyard, these come back into play. Well, when they come back into play, you target a creature in your graveyard, bloop, bloop, and then everything leaves again. But when everything comes back into play, for all the lands that come back into play untapped, you tap them, basically filling your mana pool. So first main phase, you just drop this, he comes in, everything leaves, comes back, all your basics are untapped, you tap them in response, and then, same thing. These leave, he leaves, these come back, he comes back. And you just keep doing that, just keep dropping and dropping and dropping, and as your lands are leaving and coming back, then, because it says remove all other permanents you control from the game. So they leave, they come back, you tap them, and then you've just got all the mana in the world that you want to be able to cast, creatures, instants, sorceries, whatever you want to just start smashing out there, and you just start going off at it. So that's one of my that's my primary game ender, is popping that off. and then, you know, Psychosis Crawler or Glint Horn or something to that effect, and just basically burning my opponents down of every bit of life points that they have. So, yeah. It's a fun deck. It's not the strongest, but it is fun. I get a kick out of playing it. Like I said, I will every once in a while rotate it kind of in and out of my list of decks that I play with. But that is most definitely, it's a good deck. It's not bad. It can be shut down if you got somebody that is, you know, casting counters and blocking off your main linchpin pieces. Then it can definitely slow down and shut down this deck. But it's fun. It's interesting. It's got something different, you know, to machine gun your way through so many madness cards so quickly. I get a kick out of it. So there you go. If anybody has any questions or any comments or any suggestions, if you know some cards out there, I usually go through every once in a while when new sets come out to see if there's anything new to upgrade my decks. I've not spent time on this one in a little while, but if anybody has any suggestions for it, please throw them in the comments below. Other than that, I am Chaos with Chaotic Beagle Entertainment, signing out of here. You all have a safe, happy, and fun time out there, you lovely gamer hounds, and I will see you all in the next video. Take it easy. Later.